So on the way back to my room, I'm saying to myself, damn, I want to know what Little Draws want to talk about. I said, cause shit, some shit just went off on the yard, and I know that shit, he's kind of upset and stuff like that. You can kind of see, cause the way that, like I said, on the yard, the way he ended up taking off and doing his stuff, so you can kind of tell that they would have some type of issues going on. So I get back up to my room. Probably 10 minutes go by. That's when Lil Draws come back up to the room. He got this little thing on, this little shirt, and all that. I was just looking at him like, shit, man, damn. So he was like, you got another cigarette? I was like, yeah, I got one. Go ahead, go and get him a cigarette. He fired up, blowing it. I'm like, shit, what's up, man? What's going on? He's like, I'm just tired of both of them motherfuckers. I'm just through with both of them. I'm just going to put my little towel in on that and just hang it up with them. I'm just done with them. I was like, shit, what they do? She's like, I'm just tired of going back and forth with them about this. Every day is something. Every day I got to deal with something. I can't get my mind right going back and forth dealing with these two people doing this, and they're always complaining about stuff that don't even really matter, and they don't even know what they're even talking about when it comes to certain stuff. She in her little cigarette. I'm like, shit, damn. I said, it's like that? And she was like, yeah. She was like, you know it too, Fast. I mean, she said, Maples and both of them people be coming up here talking to you. I said, yeah, I'm tired of it too. This little merry-go-round that's going on with everybody. I said, I ain't got nothing to do. I don't even know how I even got myself mixed up in under this, on the real. I said, one day it just popped up and it's just been going on and on and on. I said, shit, Little Draws, you're on the real. I said, this got to stop because something ain't right about all this. And Lil Jaws was like, yeah, but shit, I got to try to make some money on somebody, doing this and, how I'm doing it. I was like, oh, do you? I was like, shit, you making a little something. And he was like, yeah, Reggie give me a little something every time I needed something. I said, speaking of Reggie, I said, did he give you some compensatory a few days ago, like $4 or $5 worth? And she was like, yeah. He gave it to me, and I was like, yeah, dirty motherfucker. It just, I was like, shit. She's like, anytime I need something, he give it to me. I said, hey, are you and him messing around and doing something like that? He was like, nope. And he's like, and if he told you we ain't doing nothing like that. And I was like, shit, he ain't tell me nothing like that, you know that y'all was messing around or nothing like that. And I was like, shit, he just, just be telling me how he feel about you and stuff. And I don't be wanting to hear it and stuff. And she's like, yeah, he tells me that all the time at the door when we be talking to how he feel about me. I was like, shit, I said, he must want your cheeks, don't he? And she was like, start laughing, smoking a little cigarette. I don't know what you talking about, Fast. I don't know what you talking about. I was like, shit, he wants something, you know what I'm saying? The way that y'all, kicking up dust all the time at that door and stuff like that. And she was like, shit, it ain't gonna be like that no more. I'm cutting him off, you know what I'm saying? I ain't got nothing to really talk to him about no more because whatever he and Maples got going on, that's just between them. I'm just gonna let them duke it out or whatever. If they end up having to fight or whatever, I was like, shit, you want them to fight over you and stuff? And she was like, shit, if it boils down to it, that's what they end up gonna happen to do. Whoever wins, wins. I was like, shit, dang. I said, that's kind of crazy. I said, shit, you putting yourself in a position to where you got these two fighting over you or whatever. And Lil Draw was like, shit, they ain't fighting over, they fighting over themselves, So they got, she got to get talking to me, and I was just like, shit, I'm done, you know what I'm saying? Really just kind of talking, I just kind of played it off like, hey, I'm about to film and watch my little show. So get her cigarette, throw it in the toilet, flush it, walk on out. I'm like, shit, damn. So the next morning I go to breakfast. That's when Maples come over at the table again, but this time he's quiet, real quiet. He ain't saying nothing at all. He ain't even asked, that I wanted food. He just got the food, sat down for probably about 5 minutes, didn't eat none of it, got up, walked up to the little window, slang everything up in there, and he walked up out the child hall. So I'm looking at him doing, I said, dang, he didn't even ask me did I want some of that food because I think it was pancakes or something. I said, he didn't even ask me that I even want some. I was like, dang, he must be that mad. So I get back up to the dorm. I'm up in there chilling, watching TV. Somebody knock at the door. I'm like, who is it? And it's like Reggie. Reggie coming down. I'm like, shit, man, dang, here it is. You know, double take. I got you now. I got. So I'm like, damn. He like, shit, man, what's up, man? He's like, shit, man, you got any tobacco? I was like, shit, nope. I think I only had like 3 cigarettes left. I was like, nope, I ain't got none until like maybe this weekend I'll probably have something. He was like, dang, I need something. You know what I'm saying? Me and Little Draws ain't got no cigarettes down there. And I was like, shit, y'all talking? He was like, not really. He said, I'm basically trying to get these cigarettes so I can kind of talk to her. And I was like, shit, I ain't got none, you know. So when he said that, I was like, shit, I'm going to go downstairs, use the phone. So I go down there, I'm looking at the phone, talking on the phone, I mean. And while I'm talking on the phone, I'm looking over at that Little Draws' door right there. Now, instead of it being open, it's closed, and they talking like with the like through the door like this, like with it kind of open a little bit, so they ain't really talking or whatever. You can see Reggie shaking his head like this, you know, like he understand or whatever, because Little Draw's probably putting his foot down. I don't know what they talking about or whatever, but they got like a little extensive conversation going on. So I'm looking at that, I'm like, shit, I'm like telling the parent on the phone with me that they over there tripping and stuff. They're like, what you talking about? And I was like, shit, nothing, you know what I'm saying? Just something I'm seeing. And they like, shit, what you seeing? I was like, shit, that ain't nothing. So I got on ahead, you know, go back up to my room. So the next day, I go to the library. So while I'm in the library reading the paper, that's when Lil Draws come in there, and I see her over there talking to somebody else over there, sitting down talking, and they just all of a sudden I just seen like pass something, you know. I don't know what it was. I just seen him pass something. She put it in her little coat right there, got up, you know, and walked off, you know. So I get back to the dorm, you know, still they ain't talking or whatever. The door's kind of cracked. They still talking like that. So I see that and I'm like, shit, dang. Maybe they Little Draws, you know what I'm saying, ain't really messing with him like that, because like I said, the whole day room changed now. You know, he over there like he look like he begging all the time. I'm like, he begging for them cheeks. He wanted them cheeks that bad. I'm like, he over there begging. So I got back up to my room, watch TV, wait on the morning. So when I get to breakfast this time, that's when Maples he wanted to talk. You know, he wasn't mad today. He's like, man, the unit team, you know, is really on me about a certain situation. I was like, man, you keep talking about this unit team, you know, and you ain't telling me nothing what's going on with it, man. I'm kind of like in the dark when it comes to that. And he was like, shit, man, like I said, Fats, it's kind of personal, you know. And I was like, dang. I said, is it that deep? And he was like, yeah, it's kind of deep, you know, for real, man. It's kind of personal. I was like, shit, man, you gonna tell me eventually, you gonna tell me. He was like, shit, yeah, I tell you, you know what I'm saying, when I actually know. I was like, shit, all right, man. So go back to the dorm. I'm sitting up in there looking at them. Like I said, it's a routine. I come back, look at them move around. It's like my own personal TV show. I'm saying this because everything that's coming in my ear is making me reflect on everything that's going on in the pod and the stuff that people are talking about. That's what I look at. My eyes is focused on that. You know, I'm focused on Little Draws and I'm focused on Reggie over there. And then I'm focused on Maples when it's time to go to the yard and stuff like that, because he be out there on the yard. So I'll get up in the room. A few minutes later, that's when Little Draws come up in there, knock on my door while I'm watching TV, come up in the room. She asked me for some cigarettes. I tell her I ain't have them, you know what I'm saying? She's like, shit, dang, you ain't got nothing, do you? And I was like, shit, I ain't got no tobacco. I got some compensatory if you need some compensatory. He's like, shit, we ain't cooking nothing now. You probably end up cooking something this weekend or whatever. So I'm like, shit, what's going on, Little Draws? I was like, man, I seen you over in the library, you know what I'm saying, pulling the move off or whatever. And he was like, nah, I was just getting something from somebody. Somebody needed me to transport something across campus. And I was like, oh, for real? They need you to bring something in? And he was like, yeah. They gave me a little something, but they didn't give me no tobacco. They gave me something else. I was like, shit, what they give you? She was like, some of that green stuff. And I was like, oh, for real? I said, you got some of that? She's like, you want some? And I was like, shit, nah, I don't want none. Because at that time, I wasn't getting down on that, you know. Because I knew about it, but I knew that the UAs and stuff always come through, so I was kind of scared at that time. So she was like, shit, if I needed something, just let her know. I was like, shit, if I get some tobacco, I'll let you know. So she leave about. I come back, you know, finish watching TV, get up in the morning, go to breakfast. Now Maples, this time, Maples is kind of upset, you know. And I'm like, man, I say, you all right, man? He's like, shit, man, fuck this shit, man. I'm just tired of. He said, I'm about to beat Reggie's motherfucking ass today. And I was like, shit, are you? He was like, yeah, I'm gonna beat his motherfucking ass. He said, as soon as I see him, I'm gonna go ahead and put my hands on him. I was like, shit, why? What happened? He was like, shit, I know he's trying to, you know, get it, little draws. I know it, man. I know they got something going on over there, Fast Man. You sitting up here all the time telling me that you ain't doing this and you don't know about this. And he said, I know you do, man. So he's getting mad at me. And I'm like, shit, man, why you get mad at me? I ain't even did nothing. I don't even know. He said, man, you know something, man. You can't sit up here and tell me that you don't know nothing. He's getting madder and madder. So when he start getting madder like that, I get up because, shit, I don't want the situation to get out of hand. So I just go ahead and just break the silence of it. He's like, where you going? I was like, shit, I'm getting up out of here, man. I ain't got, you know, I ain't really got nothing to say. I ain't trying to argue with you about nothing like that. You know, when you come to a situation like that in the penitentiary, you got to hurry up and, you know what I'm saying, excuse yourself from certain situations, because if you don't, it can get really out of control. And I knew that this was getting out of control, so I was like, shit, it's time for me to hurry up and kind of move on, because I don't want, you know, send this dude Maples to kind of flip out. Even though his hand was messed up, shit, he still had a, you know, he still could have flipped out and did something that we both would have regretted or whatever. So I was like, shit, I'm kind of done with that whole situation. So I just mobbed on off. I just left up out the kitchen, you know. I get back to my little dorm. I'm like, shit, man, I'm done. I'm done talking to all these people. Anybody want to talk to me about anything, I'm done with it. So as soon as the first person want to talk to me about something, if it ain't about compensatory or whatever, I don't want to even talk to him about nothing. I'm just going to go ahead, exclude myself from this whole situation. So as soon as I get in there, like I said, it's like clockwork, you know, since somebody going to come at me. And as soon as they came at me, I shut it down. Boom, I'm done. I don't want to talk about nothing, man. You know, I said, just leave me alone. So I go to my room, sitting up in the room. I'm like, shit, man, fuck this shit, man. I'm tired of this shit. One day go by, I'm like, shit, I ain't talking to nobody. So morning time come, like I said, when Maples come over there, I just get up and go over to another table, you know, and he just looking at me like, shit. Like I said, I'm done, man, I'm done. So I'm cutting everybody off. So next day I do the same thing. I'm just basically trying to wash my hands from this whole situation, because I know it ain't right, you know. So one day I go out on the yard, you know, and well, like I said, I gotta walk the track like I do all the time, like I normally do. And sorry about that, but I'm kind of hot right now. Let me get something to drink. Walk the track like I normally do. They walking the sidewalk going back and forth. Passed them one time, you know, so I was like, shit, I'm gonna go over to this basketball court. So I get over to the basketball court and sitting over there looking at people playing basketball for a minute. I'm just moving around. I ain't, you know, just trying to move around the yard over there talking to a few people, you know, here and there. Come back. Now I see them walking, they walking up like they going to the early yard check-in, but they ain't called it yet. They gonna call it here in a minute because they give you a warning on the countdown, 5 minutes till early check-in, you know. So they walking up front right there. So I was like, shit, I'm gonna go ahead and get behind them and walk up like I ain't following them or nothing, like I'm just walking, you know what I'm saying, going in. So then they stopped for a second and they like a little ways ahead of me. So all of a sudden, I'm sitting just like I said, I'm just walking. And then I seen Lil Draws smack Maples. Pack. And when he smacked Maples, Maples pushed him. And Lil Draws fell back. You know, and Lil Draws, like I said, he's an Asian. He's short, you know, real thin. He ain't really got no muscle or anything like that. So when he fell back, he kind of like almost stumbled over. And that's when Reggie kind of grabbed his arm and kind of held him, right, you know what I'm saying, just a little bit. And they both almost kind of tipped over. And I looked at that and I was like, shit, damn. So then that's when both of them had their little altercations going on. Like they had words going on for a second, but didn't none of them throw no fists or nothing like that. So then, like I said, Lil Draws take off for a second, and I just keep on walking, you know what I'm saying? I passed them. They walked like a little bit behind me. I don't know what they was talking about or nothing like that. But I get back up in the cell house, up in my room. That's when Lil Draws come back up there. Boom, 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 knocking on the door. And I'm like, shit, man, Lil Draws, I told you, you know what I'm saying, a couple days ago that I'm done talking. She was like, Fats, open this motherfucking door. I need to talk. I need a cigarette, John. I know you got one. And I kept banging on the door, boom, 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 boom. I mean, she banged on it, you know what I'm saying, probably about 5 minutes. You know, I was like, shit, fuck it, man. Just gonna go on here, open the door. I was like, shit, come on in here, get this motherfucking cigarette so you can go in and push on off. She was like, shit, this motherfucking Maples is a motherfucking asshole. You know, I ain't gonna tell his business or anything like that, but he ain't right, you know. This motherfucker is full of shit, you know, fuck him, you know. I ain't got shit to say to him no more. I'm kind of done with him when it comes to that. Fuck all that shit, you know. So, the next morning I go to Chow. You know, that's when Maples come over there. He's like, hey, Fats, you know, I'm probably leaving tomorrow. I was like, how are you? He's like, yeah, I got rolled up, you know. I was like, shit, what you get rolled up for? He's like, shit, they said that I was doing like a lewd act and stuff. Now, a lewd act is when a person is indulged in some type of favors around there. I mean, when you're in relationships in the penitentiary and all that, and then you end up getting caught doing something, that's the write-up they're gonna give you is get caught in a lewd act. And then they're gonna call your family on the street and tell them that you was involved in that lewd act, but they ain't gonna tell who was pitching or who was batting. They just gonna keep that to themselves, you know? So it's like I got caught in a lewd act, you know, and now Lil Draws is mad at me because now he feel that I was cheating on him while I was over there. And I was like, shit, I mean, it's vice versa. Y'all both probably was doing it, you know. So I was like, damn, that's kind of fucked up, you know. And so then he's just, like I said, he's telling me that he's leaving. So then I get back to the cell house, and when I get back to the cell house, the door is open, you know, Reggie's right there talking to Lil Draws, all of them, like everything is just back to normal. I'm like, damn, that's kind of fast, you know? So I'm like, shit, damn. This don't even, I mean, it's one of them hell of a shows right there because shit, now it's like it's open door and open house to everything now. Them two's back talking like they ace boon coon again. He got the door open, she got the door open, you know, and I'm looking at that like shit, just shaking my head like, dang, you know, old boy gonna be gone tomorrow. Shit, I guess, you know, Reggie probably happy or whatever. I don't know, man, but it was just kind of one of those situations to where, shit, it just wasn't right, you know. I don't know if old boy was just after her cheeks, you know, after his cheeks or whatever, but shit, he had to have been after something because shit, much as he was always over there in their face and stuff like that. Like I said, you don't want to go to prison to get yourself involved in situations like that or even get involved with somebody that kind of knows your business and then want you to get information from somebody else, because that always end up in a bad situation. I mean, when I met Little Draws them at the beginning of their whole thing, I ain't know that I was gonna be hanging out with them like that and knowing all their business and what they was doing and whatever. But I knew that Reggie was one of the people, he was after people's cheeks all the time. So once he told me what type of person he was, I kind of filled him out on everything. But yeah, in the penitentiary, things like that happen all the time. And sometimes it can get even worse, or somebody can end up getting their manhood took. Somebody can end up dying up in there. It could be anything, you know what I'm saying, that can kind of happen. So you don't even want to go to the penitentiary. My advice to you is to stay up out there. Make sure that you stay on the street with your family, the people that you love, and the people that support you on certain things, you know, so that everything can be all right. You know, this is your boy Fats checking in with you another one. Y'all stay up and y'all be peaceful. Y'all, much love.